All right, so we are starting out with freshly washed hair. I am just taking my detangling brush and detangling out all of my hair before blow drying. Now I'm going in with my heat protectant and just spraying that all over my hair, and then I'm going to just rub it in really, really good before starting the blow dry process. Now I'm just sectioning my hair in 2 sections and braiding one side. I'm going to thoroughly blow dry one side, and then I'm going to blow out the other side. Now that our hair is completely blow dried, we are going to part our first section. We're going to go in with a deep part, and this section is going to be our 4 design braids. Make sure you have your handheld mirror just to make sure your parting and everything is straight. Now we're going in with the shining gem, and we're going to put that over the perimeter of this section. And then we're going to just make sure the part and everything is right. And now we're going to go in with our first part. And for the design parts, they're basically exaggerated U parts. So as you see, I'm kind of doing it at a exaggerated U towards the front of the head, and then just going back to a straight in the back. So you will need 4 pieces of our pre-stretched braiding hair along with 1 piece of curly hair. We're going to just go in with the shining gem and just put that all over the perimeter of this first section that we're about to braid. Comb out any kinks before starting that braid. We want to make sure that how we're wanting to braid, we have everything smoothed out and ready. Start by braiding our natural hair from roots all the way back to the back of our head. Once we get to the back of our head, that's when we're going to start taking those pieces that we laid out and start adding that in to our braid. So right about here is where we're going to grab our first piece of braiding hair. We're just going to put that right under our finger where we were braiding and continue to braid a couple of times. And then we're going to add our second piece in. We're going to tuck that into the braid and continue to braid down. And then we're going to grab our third piece of hair and put that right under your finger where you stopped braiding. And that way, once you put it up under your finger, you can continue to braid. And then once we get all the way down to the end of your head right there, we're going to add that 4th piece. We're going to braid that down a couple of times. And then once we've gotten that braided down to about mid-neck, that's when we're going to start adding in that curly piece. To the curly piece, you want to do it exactly the same way. You're just going to put it right underneath where your braid ended, and then you're going to continue braiding. So you just want to take one side of the curly piece and and you're gonna pull it to the side. Sometimes you can clip it. I just toss mine behind my shoulder, and you're just gonna continue to braid down with that curly piece. And then you're gonna take that curly piece out once you've gotten a little bit lower, like you see, and just continue your braid. So all you really need is just one piece of the curly hair, and it'll still look like you applied it twice, although it's just one piece. Now for the second part, it's the same concept. We're just going to do it in the opposite direction. Now you want to go in with your Shine and Jam and just saturate that entire part, and then comb out any kinks that you might have. And you also want to just make sure that your part is straight. So that's what I'm doing right now, just taking the time to make sure the part looks straight. So now we're working on that third braid, and we're just going to put this Shine and Jam all around the perimeter before parting. And we're going to do the same concept, but going in the direction we went for the first braid. The same thing, we're going to start by braiding off our natural hair, going all the way back to the back of our head, and then we're going to add in those additional pieces. This last braid, there's really not any direction to go. We're just going to kind of braid that going straight back. Throughout the process, you also want to make sure that you're putting some shining jam on your hair as well as the weave. As you see, I'm adding it in as I'm braiding down just to make sure everything blends seamlessly. So now for the middle section, these are just going to be 4 straight backs. We are going to add some curly hair to the beginning of this braid as well as the 4th braid, just to kind of give a little oomph. So as you see, I'm going to start braiding my natural hair, and then I'm going to add in that curly piece right underneath that finger where I was braiding, and then just continue to braid down. Now you can adjust that curly piece to make it shorter or longer depending on what your preference is. As you see, I had to keep pulling it down because I kind of wanted mine to be a little bit long in the front. But once you get it to the length you want it, then you can lock in and just continue to braid down. So for this, we are going to need 2 pieces of curly hair because we're going to add another piece in the back. We're going to do the same process. So we're going to add those 4 pre-stretched pieces in the back. And we're going to add those in, starting with my first piece. I'm going to go with the next piece now and continue to braid down. When I get it to where I feel like I can flip it around and continue the braid, that's typically when I'll do that. And then I'll add the shining jam so that my hair and the braiding hair blend seamlessly. Alright, so I did the other 3 braids off camera. So this is where we are so far. Now for the last section, We're going to do this exactly how we did on the opposite side. You do want to make sure that your parts match the other side. This next part, we're going to do it exactly the same we did on the other side. So we're going to part it going in the opposite direction. And then you want to just make sure you use your mirror to make sure you get straight parts. All right, and I finished it off of camera. So this is how it's looking so far. Now we're about to dip these ends. What I'm doing now is just pulling all the curly pieces and putting them into a ponytail holder, and we're gonna just dip the straight hair only. Only reason I'm not dipping the curly is because it is not human hair, so I definitely don't want to dip it and then it ends up straightening it. So I'm just gonna dip those straight pieces. All right, and this is the finished look. I absolutely love how this turned out. This took me about an hour and a half. So let me know if you end up doing it yourself. Tag me in your photos. Thanks for watching. All right, so now we are all done. This process took me about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes at max, but I love how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching.